All right, I was debating making this video. I really didn't want to, but apparently, I feel like I should in order to just help some people and clarify a few things. Now, I'm probably going to make some enemies out of this because this is just generally a topic that's frowned upon to be talked about at the higher level. That be coaches, bodybuilders, they just don't want people thinking this. Um, I think that they feel that when somebody uses higher doses of PEDs, it kind of negates or downplays or diminishes their hard work. And everybody wants to be seen as a hard worker. But the fact of the sport is there's a lot of people abusing PEDs. And it doesn't necessarily mean your best bodybuilders are the ones taking the highest doses, because that's absolutely not true. That just means that they have the best genetics. Because a lot of you guys, me included, could take the highest doses you could possibly think of, and we will never even be close to the size of like a big Rami or something like that. Not even close. So genetics play a huge, huge part. So yes, there's a lot of Olympians that are probably on lower doses than some of you guys watching this, but then there's Olympians that are on 5 times the amount that you guys take. Um, it's generally just impatience and, drive and wanting to be your best as fast as you can get there. And, I think that there's a little bit of insecurity behind it and people wanting validation and other people's approval, and they want to become famous and they want to live a good life and they want to make more money. So it's their means to do so, and it's their right and their life. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like the faster you put on a lot of muscle, the harder it does on your system. But I feel like the biggest factor by far is how heavy you are and how long you walk around at that weight. If you put 200 pounds of cinder blocks in your car and drive around, it's going to break down faster. Put in 400 pounds, it's going to break down even faster. 600 pounds, even faster than that, you know? So it depends on the size and duration. Now, I would equate it to like driving around with an F-150 pickup truck with a Honda engine in it. Just because we get bigger doesn't mean our internal organs and our system gets, stronger and more powerful. So we still have the same internal engine. It's just the body size is getting bigger. So it's doing more work and there's wear and tear. It's a fact of life. Everything in this world has wear and tear. So we generally accept that when we get into bodybuilding, that we're all going to give up some years of our lives. Now, am I saying it's going to be a lot of years of your lives? Probably not. And, if you're talking about the smaller guys that don't really get that big, or the people who really don't push that hard or take it that serious, they're probably extending their lives because they're healthy, Whereas people who are unhealthy are going to die sooner, obviously. But the ones that really, really push this, I don't think we've ever seen somebody over 400 pounds live to 50 years old. I don't think that we've seen anybody over 350 get that close, So guys that have been walking around for 300 pounds for 10 plus years, they're going to go sooner. And, the older you are carrying that weight, it's going to beat you up even more, because when you're in your 20s, you're pretty resilient. Your body can recover and sustain these things. And when you get older, it takes a bigger toll on you. So if you're walking around at 300 pounds in your 30s and late 30s, that's going to take a toll on you. That's going to take some years from you, So now that factor out of the way, the second factor is going to be PED use and all the things that come with it, like water retention, high blood pressure, altering your cholesterol, things like that, are eventually going to affect your heart. And that's why we see so many people having heart issues, because it's wear and tear and it's your cardiovascular system that pretty much takes the beating. Cholesterol affects blood flow, which in turn affects blood pressure and how hard your heart has to work, And a lot of the drugs that we take, AIs, for example, Anavar, things like that, will alter your cholesterol and put you in a bad range. And if that happens for a long enough period of time, your arteries start to harden, they lose their ability to vasodilate, their pliability, and heart has to pump harder. So the heart's doing more and more work until it finally burns out. Now, that's not in relation to the clotting factors and whatnot, but what generally pissed me off today was seeing everybody try to blame a vax for this. And I equate that to, things like the left does. You guys know I'm on the right. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you don't like it, but I think they generally fight dirty. And I think that if the people on the right, conservatives, start doing this, then they're just as bad. So, it's the equivalent of somebody eating McDonald's every day and having terrible cholesterol and high blood pressure and diabetes, and then they get a little sick and they die and you blame the sickness. You were already right there. You were on death's door, So, we're already putting ourselves in a situation where, the system isn't as strong. And if something happens, you can't really blame that. You set yourself up for it, So, yes, I'm sure it can make the situation worse, but so can a million other things aside from a vaccine or something like that. There's a million things that could make the situation worse and cause your death. Just because you're generally weakening your system and causing everything to work that much harder and burn out that much faster. So I don't want to get into doses as far as who takes what, because that's everybody's individual business and you can do what you want with your life. But fact of the matter is, some people handle higher doses better than other people do, but you always know when you're sick. Just the problem is most people ignore it. So if you start to feel a certain way, like I remember I could say one day I tried to increase my tren a little bit to the level that I heard, some high amateurs did. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And I remember not being able to breathe and I had to leave that workout that day. And it actually took me 2 weeks before I could actually breathe properly. So my body is not one that generally tolerates high doses very well. So, you're going to get, pretty distinct side effects when you're not feeling good. And a lot of times people ignore it, they chalk it up to something else, blame it on something else, just so they can go back to doing what they want to do and not feel guilty about it and not worry about it. But I'm telling you, you need to pay attention to these things. You need to get your blood work done. You need to check your health markers. You need to get your heart checked and know what you're susceptible to before you go and do all these things. Because it can make it a hell of a lot worse, and it can make bad things that may or may not happen to you happen a hell of a lot faster. So if you take anything home from this, it's basically that we are bringing this upon ourselves with what we decide to do. And actually, I just remember there's one more thing I wanted to discuss. I saw a post today from Rafael Brandao, and he said that he was always taking criticism about being too small and not being big enough on stage. And his answer was that I understand that I wasn't big enough for a period of time, but I'm doing this slowly because I want to keep my lines and I want to stay healthy and I want to do it the right way. So yes, it might take a little longer, but the outcome is going to be what I want it to be. A lot of guys blow out their waistlines, ruin their lines, and fuck up their health trying to push too fast. And because they know the size is rewarded at the highest level. Now, can you get to the highest level pending you have good genetics without crazy high doses? Absolutely. It's just going to take longer. It's going to take more work in the gym. It's going to take more diligence, more consistency, better eating for a longer period of time. But you know what? You're going to end up with a longer career and a longer life because you're going to stay healthier. Could you get there 2-3 years early by banging your drugs and boosting your doses up and all that shit? Yeah, but your career is going to be over pretty fast, and so is your life. So the take-home message to that is be patient, do the work, don't look for an easy way out. It will take time. The outcome at the end will be better, and you'll be that much happier for it, and our sport will be better for it. So take care of your body, get your health markers checked. I'm sure I'm being redundant at this point. And, just generally, just pay attention. Don't be stupid. And there is a safe way to do this. It's your choice to do it.